deities of the Shishadripuram temple, Shri Baldeva Subhadra Maharani, Lord Jagannath ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai, Panch Tattva ki jai, Guru Parampara ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Patak, Lord Vaman Dev ki jai, Lord Parshurama ki jai, Gaur Nitai ki jai. We'll say our prayers, morning prayers. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatade Satarane. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवसादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So we are in shloka, we are in chapter 2nd, contents of Gita summarized. Shloka today for today is Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 50th verse. बुद्धि युक्तो जहातिह उभे सुकृता दुष्कृते तस्मात् योगाय युज्यस्व योगा कर्माशु कौशलम. Translation given by Srila Prabhupada. A man engaged in devotional service rids himself of both good and bad reactions, even in this lifetime, even in this life. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of all work. So this is a very wonderful shloka, and so this is an ongoing discussion where Lord Krishna, who is now Guru of Arjuna in the battlefield, removing all his confusion, illusion, so he can perform his duty as a Kshatriya, that is, fight the battle war with this with the Kauravas. Okay, the keywords here are yoga, even in this lifetime, and art of all work. So good and bad reactions, rid himself of good and bad reactions. So Kaushalam, yoga karmashu Kaushalam. So Kaushalam means expert, trick. Srila Prabhupada gives an example of two men who are working, say, to repair a machine. One man is very expert and another man is not so expert. So when something goes wrong with the machine, the man who is not very expert, he tries to fix it, spending whole day and night, all his energy. But the expert man comes and he at once detects the defect, and he immediately joins the loose wire, one wire with another wire, and the machine starts working. So everything requires expert knowledge. So karma means work. It is very common misconception that if one who is interested in spiritualization, he doesn't have to work. Srila Prabhupada says that he has to work even, everybody has to work to keep body and soul together. In fact, people on the path of spiritualization, they have to work even more. What is the difference in the two people? One who is for spiritualization, another is in material activities, material realization. One who is not interested in spiritualization. So persons who are not interested in spiritualization, they may be engaged in work for 8 hours and that's it. And then those who are engaged in spiritual realization, they are engaged 24 hours a day, every day. And further, the difference would be that on material platform, on the bodily concept of life, although one works for 8 hours, he or she will get fatigued, whereas that is not the case with somebody who is practicing spiritualization. Srila Prabhupada gives his own example that while he was always working, reading, writing 24 hours, and he would eat only when he felt hungry. He would take some food and he would sleep only when he felt sleepy. Otherwise he is always awake and translating and compiling Srimad Bhagavatam and all the other scriptures. So that's how Srila Prabhupada gives an example that he was never fatigued. He did not feel it. In fact, he says that in a spiritual sense, people who are practicing spiritualization, they will feel disgusted to go to sleep. That they feel that this is sleep has come to disturb, and he wants to utilize that time in practicing Krishna consciousness and wants to reduce the time of sleeping. So same, Srila Prabhupada gives an example of 6 Goswamis. That's how they would only sleep 1.5 hours. Otherwise, they were practicing, trying to follow the instructions of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and translate the scriptures and preach Krishna consciousness. So yoga karmashu kaushalam. So Lord says on a spiritual platform. So here yoga is Krishna consciousness. Karmashu is all activities. Kaushalam is expert service. So kushala means auspicious, and from kushala comes kaushala. That means if you learn the trick, the technique, how to work on the platform of yoga, then that is the highest technique of doing work. So buddhi yukta, one who is engaged in devotion service, jahati, can get rid of that. So what is the result of such a work? When one works from the spiritual platform with his intelligence, then jahati iha ubhe sukrita dushkrite. So sukrita dushkrita means good and bad results, and in case of ordinary work or material work on a material platform, if you do any kind of good work even on material platform, you have to take good results. Even if you don't do bad work or any sinful work, you still have to take the effect of that work, whether good or bad sinful work. Even for good work you have to take the effect. So but when one is on the spiritual platform, like in this instance what Lord Krishna is trying to emphasize, so he does not on a transcendental platform, he does transcendental work. Whatever he does is transcendental. He doesn't have to take any result for whether good or bad work. So example is of Arjuna. Initially Arjuna said, he was thinking that fighting of this nature is not good for me. That was his problem, that was his illusion. So because at that time he was thinking on the bodily platform, material platform. So later when Arjuna took to fighting, after understanding Bhagavad Gita from Lord Sri Krishna, does it mean that he took to bad work? No. What we need to understand from this is how fighting in case of Arjuna was not bad work. When Arjuna declined to fight, he was thinking, fighting for me with my relatives is not good. That was his personal conclusion. And actually, from material perspective, Srila Prabhupada says that, for example, in a material world, you see if two brothers are fighting for something, over something, and a third person comes and instructs them, he advises them, oh, you are two brothers, why are you fighting? Just have it and sort it and get it settled, and that is actually a good advice in that case. But Arjuna, from practical or materialistic point of view, was good that he was declining to fight in that case. But now Lord Krishna, when he induces him to fight, does it mean that it was bad? It was bad course? No. How is that? Because Lord Krishna was inducing him to a course which is beyond good and bad. That is, it is transcendental. It is not good and bad. It is beyond that. It is transcendental. So from the material platform, even if you do good work, it is not good. And why is that? How is that and why is that? Because of, as mentioned earlier, result of good work. So according to scriptures, when one does good work, only good work and no sinful work, then what is the result of his good work? What happens is he gets, as scriptures say, he gets birth in a very good family on a higher planet, Janma, he gets very rich, he becomes very rich, Aishwarya, opulence, right, riches, or he becomes a very educated man, learned, you know, Shruta, highly learned man, all because of good work. And Shri, he gets very attractive, or he's a very beautiful person, and these are results of good work. And the results of bad work, as per the scriptures, is just the opposite of all this. So How is it different? Because what we need to consider is good work or bad work. When you take your birth in a high family or good family, you are rich, you are educated, you are very beautiful, attractive, you still have to accept the three miseries of material existence: birth, death, old age, and disease, right? Whether you're rich or poor man, irrespective of that, you have to take these three miseries of material existence. You cannot avoid. But when you're working transcendentally, there is no, that is neither good nor bad work, it is transcendental, and that is for the sake of the supreme consciousness, transcendental position. Then one does not get this material birth at all. And this is a very good, this is really good, this is, in fact, this is the actual real good, right? You are above birth, death, old age, disease, because these material body gives so many troubles, miseries of life, right? Why waste the life? So Lord Krishna says that buddhi yukto jahati. If you work from that transcendental plane or spiritual platform, then you get rid of all the results of good and bad work, because it is transcendental work. You shouldn't be, you don't be attached to either good work or bad work. That is the best technique, that is the highest technique, which is what Lord Krishna is instructing Arjuna. A transcendentalist who wants to work from spiritual platform has nothing to worry about those rebirth or suffering of the three miseries of material life, material existence. He doesn't have to worry whether I'm doing good work or bad work. All he has to do is consider, check whether he is still acting on the platform of spiritual consciousness, or is he acting on the platform of material consciousness. So a person on the spiritual consciousness, um, that is the best. So that is the what Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing, that Krishna is instructing Arjuna. So because now he was fighting as per the instructions, as per the desire of the supreme consciousness, which is Lord Krishna. That is the best of technique. So Srila Prabhupada says that we should also mold our life in such a way that we have to act on the direction of the supreme consciousness. Then our life becomes sublime spiritual, right? So how do we do that? How do we achieve that? So for this, Srila Prabhupada says we require a guide. What kind of guide? A spiritual guide, who is a bona fide representative of Lord Krishna. Just like Arjuna, just like in this case, Arjuna had the opportunity of direct instruction from Lord Krishna. But now we don't have that, Krishna, but we have to have instructions from the representative of Krishna. Who is that? A guru. So you follow the instructions of Krishna via a guru, through a guru. Guru is the representative of Lord Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada gives an example of lawyer. What a lawyer does. A lawyer is a representative because he is learned in law books. He is certified. He is a lawyer. He is a representative of law. Similarly, a guru, a bona fide representative of Lord Krishna. He is a bona fide because he is following the instructions of Lord Krishna, and that person understands. So if you understand instructions from that person perfectly, rightly, then you benefit. So how to understand that instructions will come in chapter 4th later. These instructions are also given in Bhagavad Gita. What are the instructions? How do you understand those instructions rightly or perfectly? So one needs to understand Bhagavad Gita as it is, without any wishful interpretation for his own purpose. So Srila Prabhupada has emphasized on Bhagavad Gita as it is instructed to Arjuna. So if anybody who understands Bhagavad Gita in that way, then without any visual or interpretation of one's own for one's own purpose, then if he understands the instructions of Bhagavad Gita as it is, then as it is given by Lord Krishna for supreme spiritual consciousness, then he or she is the right representative of God, Krishna. And anybody who accepts such representative of Krishna for as his guide, he stands to benefit. That is the right way, and he benefits in the same way as much as Arjuna was guided by Lord Krishna. So that person needs to take shelter of the guidance of a person or a guru, a bona fide guru, who is fully aware, fully conversant with the science of Krishna. Anybody who is fully conversant in the science of Krishna, if you take instructions from him, he is your well-wisher. And in our case, it is Guru. So he can, because Guru can guide that person nicely into a spiritual life, as Lord Krishna guided Arjuna in the battlefield for Arjuna's spiritual life, transcendental, without any without him incurring any good or bad effects of work, because he worked on a transcendental spiritual platform. So this is my understanding, and we should take it seriously, and follow move towards getting a guru and follow the instructions. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining the morning chanting and shloka reading session. We'll meet again tomorrow in continuation of reading Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna. Thanks.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Prabhuji. Thanks for
Hare
joining.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Thanks for the
Krishna, Prabhuji.
opportunity. Hare Bol.